I went to Paris with my girlfriend because we were invited to a wedding. Also, it was going to be my 34th birthday. Paris is somewhere I always wanted to go. I'm part French. I took French as my language in high school and middle school, but until now, I never had the excuse I needed to pull the trigger and actually go. I bought 8 rolls of film for the trip. I have a couple old cameras, but special shout out to this Minolta SRT-201, which was the star workhorse camera of this movie. Full manual, practically indestructible, and listen to that shutter. It even has a 5-second self-timer so you can run in and take a picture with your sweetie. As a backup camera, we use the Kodak H35 Half-Frame, which gives you twice as many pictures per roll of film. So if you're looking to try shooting film for the first time, this is the perfect camera to start with. I feel cringe explaining why I love analog photography, but here we go. There's just something magic about light causing a chemical reaction to happen in the real world. It isn't perfect the same way digital photos are, and it's expensive, and sometimes unreliable while you're learning how to do it. I've ruined timeless moments that I'll never get back, and your family doesn't understand why you didn't just shoot it on the phone, and it would be perfect. But the thing that makes it worth it is the way that it can always surprise you. I never post or share my photos publicly because I don't consider myself to be a quote-unquote real photographer. I worked way harder at being a writer.
Life's barely long enough to get good at one thing.
You can never be unfaithful to your one true love.
And also because 90% of the photos I take are pictures of my girlfriend, or flowers, or birds I find sympathetic. In that same way, I've never considered myself to be a quote-unquote real musician because I've known so many people more talented than me. But anyway, back in Paris. After taking a picture on the street, I saw this guy hovering over my shoulder. Richard was a real photographer. We got to talking, and he told me about when digital cameras were just coming out as the hot new thing. Back then, he decided it didn't count as real photography, and he would never use it. Then, 15 years later, a friend lent him a digital camera. He tried it one time and realized, oh my god, I'd wasted 15 years. And it wasn't until the next day that the thought hit me. What is the thing that I'm going to wake up 15 years from now and say, oh my god, I've wasted so much time? Like, what is that thing, and what are you waiting for? I've always had a lot of resistance to putting myself on camera and making things for YouTube. 1, because I'm ugly and bald and now I'm old. And 2, because to me it always felt like giving up. I spent the last decade of my life trying to make quote-unquote real movies, which, there's the quotes again. I went to film school. I've written like 6 full-length screenplays and a few pilots that I could never get produced. It wasn't about success or money. I mean, that would have been nice. But the reason I stuck around when none of that happened was just that feeling when you're sucked into a totally amazing movie. Just one of the greatest things that a human being can experience. Movies, or cinema, as I secretly call it among safe friends, has shaped my life probably as much as anything real. Not just formative role models, but like from a brain development perspective. I don't know if I acquired empathy or what happened from watching Toy Story 3, but in that moment where all the toys joined hands and accepted that they were going to die, but at least they were together, I just started sobbing, and I felt this new, like, physical sensation of beauty and sadness in the center of my chest. I'm pretty sure the moment Amy fell in love with me was when I teared up during an episode of King of the Hill. This part.
3 men pushed me to the ground and made me eat dirt.
Okay, you can stay.
Sidetracked again. Paris. Amy had studied abroad for a semester in Paris during college, but so many things she tried to recreate or do quote-unquote correctly this time around were impossible, or they just weren't as good as they used to be. You can't step into the same river twice became something of a theme for the trip. To make things worse, Amy, who has been meticulously documenting her entire life in notebooks, calendars, and videos for I don't know how long, lost her camera with all of her footage from the first half of the trip. A few years ago, I did something I'd never thought I'd do and gave up on movies. I just wanted one thing I wrote to actually make its way out into the world. So I tried writing fiction, which is something else I've always loved. It was the story of an actor and his obsession with rebooting an orange cartoon cat into an endless multiverse of superhero movies. Though of course it only leads to the actor losing his mind as the Garfy multiverse starts crossing over into his real life. I think it slaps, but like most self-published novels, reviews have been mixed and sales have not been tremendous. It's hard not to consider that a failure given how much work I put into it. We both cried a lot in Paris. Turning another year older, returning to a favorite place after a decade, being surrounded by this ancient city that had held generation after generation of lives made it hard not to feel extremely mortal. Like, life is short, and who knows when you'll ever get back to Paris again. If you'll ever get back. For the last year, I haven't written one word. It's hard to get up again when you fail. When you failed more times than you can count. Not to sound weird, but my girlfriend taught me that you can do magic rituals in real life. You just have to invent them yourself and then put your honest emotions into them. Sometimes they work, but never in the way you think.
Dear holy stuff I bought in Paris, help me actually use all of you rather than keeping you on a shelf in my apartment for 10 years as if you were a monument to the last time I was ever able to go to Paris. Help me to make up for lost time. Help me make up for all the years I didn't go to Paris because I felt like I was too broke or fat or just not worthy, or that the good things in life just weren't for me. Help me make up for lost time where I didn't feel free, where I felt trapped, where I didn't feel like the world was mine to enjoy and delight in. Help me be Paris inside no matter where life takes me. That. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Which is what we need to be doing. Ready?
Yeah, absolutely. For my ritual, I walked around all the graves of the people I'd read about on Wikipedia. I waited around at each tomb for a moment alone. I knelt and I touched the graves I was allowed to touch, and the dirt beside those that were off limits. And I closed my eyes and asked them for their help. Then, while I was waiting for my girlfriend to join me for dinner, I met Richard, who, looking back, feels like a weird alternate version of myself from the future. Either way, I'm going to call that a win for rituals. The day I got back, I started writing whatever this project is. I think I'm going to put it on YouTube, and not just to use it as evidence against the IRS that any flights or expenses I may have accidentally put on the Aaron Pryka Films business card are now completely legitimate and not tax fraud. Richard told me that I spoke French like a child, but he insisted that he meant it kindly, like I was some kind of innocent. I hope that's true. Time and life passes over us all, but I don't want to become jaded or closed off. Richard, I doubt you will ever see this video, but thank you for reminding me that now is the time. Take the plunge. Take that trip to Paris, whatever that is for you. You know the thing I'm talking about. Do it. I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna start considering myself a real photographer. Maybe in a few years I'll be a real musician too. Subscribe to this channel. I may never make another video here, though I'm constantly having ideas for them now. God help you all, I will probably write another novel. But now I ask you, my loyal 2 or 3 people who have stayed all the way to the end of this video, what is the thing you'll kick yourself in 15 years for not starting now? And what are you waiting for? okay.